Okay, you guys, it's the Hey Frase podcast. No Paul today. He is in New York promoting his book, but we have an awesome guest. You guys told me I don't have enough strong black women on, so meet Hilari Younger. She's a former reality show star, and she's going to tell us what you can wear to Black Panther, the huge premiere. And you guys, for a second, I actually thought maybe I could dress up, but I hear that white people aren't supposed to.
And it's Valentine's Day, so 10 things men like during sex. Obviously, you want to know these.
Yes, AJ, here we go. You guys, we have some amazing sponsors. DateNightsDC.org is a website that has over 100 plus date night ideas. Take a listen to this. Date Nights DC shines a light on the romantic side of the nation's capital, and I am all about romance. You can find great restaurants, museums, hotels, and more. Do date night right in DC. Visit their website for more info at DateNightsDC.org. And this week, DC Lottery has launched their DC Love Scratcher. You could win up to $50,000. I've been playing. DC Love Scratchers were born out of that feeling of pride that we have, whether it's for our football team or our hockey team, or whether it's for the gorgeous street art or the music that we can't get enough of here in DC. That's why you need to be playing the DC Lottery, because they just dropped a new scratcher, the DC Love Scratcher, $5, and the top prize is $50,000. Sign me up, because lots of people win. And check out their website, dclottery.com. Start playing, because the DC Love Scratcher is available now through June. Good luck. Lots of people win. All right, here we go.
All right.
Yeah. Are you going to rap the whole thing? I think I'm learning it finally.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day? Hey, Frase. What's the phrase that you hear every day? Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase
that you hear?
Da-da. Tune in, yeah, you gotta tune in. Sarah Fraser on the mic, and she about to begin. The co-host with the most, Paul White. Paul.
Take it from me, you should be listening.
Live from the nation's cap, pop culture at its best. No need to second guess, separated from the rest. I run out of breath at that point.
Number one hostess.
Oh, hey, Frase. You guys, welcome to the podcast. You do not hear Paul Wharton's voice. Instead, you are hearing the lovely AJ, who is the producer of the Hey Frase podcast, and she also co-hosts with us. We absolutely love her. We sent her away for like 2 months of a radio job, but they fucking lied to her, so she's back. So
I'm back, and I'm happy you're here anyways.
And this is what's amazing, and I think so funny. Like, as a woman, it's hysterical to me because, and I also feel like now I'm very motherly. Like, I'm very motherly with you and Leslie.
Oh,
because
yeah.
Leslie is our videographer, so she does all the video work on the show, and she's Puerto Rican, and you hear her. She's amazing too. So right now we podcast at Pacers Running over in Arlington, and across the hall is Block Advisors. So before you got here today, the guy that runs the front desk came over and he asked me, "Could you introduce me to the hot woman that works with you?" And I was like, "No way!" Yes, honest to God, he came over. He goes, "Hi, Sarah."
I didn't even know that thing was running. Like, is that a real business over there?
So right, it doesn't even look. We podcast right near like an H&R Block, which I guess they rebranded themselves as Block Advisors. So the guy comes over, he comes to me, he goes, "Hey, good podcast. Now, the really attractive woman that you work with," and I was like, "Well, I work with two." He's like, "Dark hair." I go, "Well, they both have dark hair."
He's referring to the Puerto Rican Leslie.
Straight. I go, "Well, they both kind of have straight hair." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Could you introduce me to one of them?" I was like,
I'll accept either or.
Sure. I know. He was like, I was like, "Well, one has a boyfriend," and he was like, "All right, well, I'll skip that one." But I was like, we couldn't figure out. So I am dying when the show gets done to go over there and go, "Excuse me, is this?" And I can't even remember his name. Oh God, I can't even think of
something up. He'll accept it.
But what I'm saying is, like, you guys are so gorgeous, and now everywhere we go, everyone's like, "Oh, hey, are your hot interns here?" I'm like the mom. I'm like, "Excuse me,
you can't have their number."
Yeah, they're not just for you to look at. Hello, I'm not like it's just like, it's so
which is so surprising because you yourself be like, "Oh yeah, what day do you want to go out? Pick you up at 7."
Well, in the movements of Me Too, I'm very protective now. I'm like, "Oh, well, what are your intentions?"
I love it.
God. AJ, how are you doing? Thank you for being here and for filling in for Paul. What's going on?
Anytime. I love being here. What's going on? Today's Valentine's Day.
Ash Wednesday. You're rocking those ashes.
It's Ash Wednesday. Funny story. I started removing the ashes, and right away, of course, my mom walks in. She can't see. She's legally blind, and she goes, but somehow she can always see. So she's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing over there? Are you wiping your ashes off?" "No, you should leave those on so people know that you're a strong Catholic." I'm like, "Mom, but I'm going to like a public plate," and so 7 a.m. she wakes me up. Actually, 6 a.m. comes in my room with coffee. coffee. Hi, you're cutting up. We're going to go to 7 a.m. mass. I'm like,
This morning?
This morning, yes.
Oh my God. And for those of you guys who are just tuning in and new to the podcast, so AJ is, first of all, gorgeous, smart, gorgeous, hysterical. She does amazing impressions like Donald Trump and Kourtney Kardashian. But on top of that, you're what, 23, 24?
23 years old.
23 years
Thanks
old.
for the compliments.
And you know, I hate to say, because like, you're not like, basically your parents like force you to live with them. Because it's not like you really want to. they really don't want to let her go.
Right.
So you kind of like are in this weird position where you have to like live with them. Otherwise, they like give you a really hard time. And it's a lot of drama.
They're definitely helicopter parents, I call them.
They are seriously helicopter parents. And they almost like daily will get up. They make you coffee. They want to drive you to work if you have to work early hours. Like they're really amazing.
They were born to have babies, I think. Like that's all their purpose in life. They just love having a family, and that's it. It's like, don't you guys want to do something? Like go on a date, like by yourselves?
They don't seem interested in that. No. So you get up this morning, you go get ashes, you're trying to wipe them off. Suddenly your mom has incredible vision.
Suddenly she can see all of a sudden. Her eyesight has come back, and God has given her vision and tells her, tell Andrea not to wipe her ashes off. So here I am with full-blown ashes.
Oh my God.
Here we are.
Well, here we are. You guys, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. So many of you sent me really sweet birthday wishes. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm very, very grateful. I had a great birthday. And I'll tell you more about that birthday and what I'm doing for Valentine's Day tonight. But I also want to tell you there's so many good stories that we have to get to on the podcast coming up today. And I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this. A lot of people are very upset about Amy Schumer's new film. And there's a trailer that dropped, I Feel Pretty. And a lot of larger women are basically saying Amy Schumer doesn't even know what it's like to be overweight or ugly. So I have a real issue with this. We're going to discuss that. Also with Shaun White. Are you guys watching the Olympics? This is what I want to know. Are you, AJ, watching the Olympics?
I gotta be honest. This year I just wasn't into it. I'm not really watching the Olympics.
I haven't watched the Olympics at all. And I'm like, is anybody watching these? I don't even really know. I guess it's in South Korea. That's like when I figured it out. I'm like the TV station. Did you see that TV station that did a whole story on, how do you even say it? Pyongyang?
Oh, the P.F. Chang and the Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Pyong, yes.
Pyong. Thank you. Pyongyang, is that how you say it? Pyongyang?
It sounds good to me, but I don't want to be culturally
Did I just call it Pyongyang? What? It's like Punani. Pyongyang. It's like Punani Yang. That's so awful.
We're gonna get emails now. Yeah.
Oh my God. I haven't watched any of it really, hardly. I mean, I watched the drama on Twitter when like that Andy Rippon, the gay figure skater, people were very upset. Apparently he did like a perfect skate, came in last. And then, I guess he got the bronze. It's not really exactly last. But, and then, people are obsessed with these siblings, these two Sib.
You can talk about it. I have no idea. Not a clue.
All I can talk about is this doesn't anyone else find it odd? Like, do you think you could be figure skating? Like, figure skating is romantic. You're looking into each other's eyes. It's supposed to be sexual and dance.
Yes.
Could you do that with your brother?
Hell no. He's touching my crotch. Like, no.
I know. That's what I went onto Twitter. This is how sick and fucked up my mind is. I was like, does anyone else find it odd that these two siblings are like figure skating together? And people were like, what are you talking about? Why do you have to go there? I'm like, because it's fucking weird to me that these two grew up and then just started figure skating together and like lifting up each other through their crotch. It's weird.
Whenever I see the figure skaters, I always wonder, are they dating? Are they married?
Thank you.
Because you associate that.
And then that's the same thing to me too. How do you romantically figure skate with someone that you're not in a relationship with? Like a lot of them are married to different people. I'm like,
right. And they spend so much time together practicing. It's a little,
Didn't you for like a second when you started out figure skating, you had to be sexually attracted. Otherwise you would have been a single. You would have been a soloist. Okay. So you had to be, that's why these sibs
are a little weird.
Yeah. The civvies or whatever the fuck you call them are so weird to me. It's just odd, but yet no one seems to be talking about that. Everyone's like, they work so hard to get to this place in their sport, and you want to talk about their relation? Yeah, I do.
They're incestual.
Yeah, they're incestual. It's weird. Anyway, but Shaun White, who's the snowboarder, won it's like his third gold medal. He's like insane. But NBC is getting a ton of backlash for not bringing up the fact that he also has some pretty major sexual harassment charges that were brought against him, including settling out of court with a woman a couple of years ago. So I want to tell you what he's been accused of doing. And I don't know if you could really say he was found guilty, but he ended up paying this one woman. So I guess there must have been something there. So we'll discuss all that. And then also, too, I'm really excited about there's a new list out of the things that men actually, this is supposed to be 10 things that real men like during sex that may surprise you. And this is according to real men. So I'm dying to get your opinion if you think that that's actually accurate. Anyway, but it was my birthday last night. So Dan actually got me a full cake, which was like amazing. I'm obsessed with cake.
Was it vegan?
It was not vegan. No, I haven't. And actually, I had barbecue last night. And it was so good. So I am like plant 4, right? Which I've made up.
Right.
It's my
People
own.
are always like, what is this? What is plant 4?
I only eat like plants 4 days a week. Like I'm vegan 4 days a week. And then the rest of the time I eat whatever. So last night we were like, for my birthday, let's get barbecue. And I forgot, like, you really do forget how good meat tastes. Like, you're like, oh, shit, it was so good. Like, pulled pork and brisket, you're like, this is amazing.
I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
So amazing. So amazing. Anyway, so we had that. It was great. And then we're going out tonight to a romantic dinner.
Totally, he planned it?
He planned everything, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's planned the whole thing, so he's super romantic. And I was really happy. Like, things have been really good because today he even agreed to be on Fox 5. I'm a contributor for Fox 5 here in D.C., and they were featuring couples, their love stories. So they asked if Dan and I would come in and tell our love story. So we actually came in and told her, and I was like, really? You want to do this?
Which is so surprising. If you guys don't know, Sarah and Dan, they're not very public with their relationship. I think it's just because Dan doesn't really want to be present on your social media because you have a huge following, and he's a little bit more private than you. Mm-hmm. Right? You would say that?
Yeah, and he works with kids and parents, so I think he really doesn't want to associate with a lot of the content that I put.
That makes sense, yeah. When Sarah's talking about punani, yeah, it's not really kid-friendly.
Well, and this is my thing. I'm really trying to get... Because I think a lot of people have this perception that I have zero fucks to give, right? Like I do. I put a lot of it out there, but I also spend a lot of time second guessing, like, oh God, we're getting advertisers for the podcast. Like, what can I say? Well, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then I start going, should I post this? But I want to post like, obviously I love inspirational things and weight loss things and things about your career, but then I also find videos of like an elephant putting its trunk in another elephant's ass and then pulling out the poo and eating it. I'm like, I've got to post this. And then I do, and then I have so many second guessing thoughts, and I'm like, no, this is my year. Like, I'm going to post without regret.
Yeah, no regrets. I mean, it's 2018.
I think he just doesn't like to be juxtaposed with the elephant sticking its trunk into another elephant's
Maybe it's
ass.
just that thing.
And then he did. I tried to show him that video. He's like, that's
I don't want to
so
look at that.
wrong. Yeah. I'm like,
not
okay.
his thing.
So anyway, it was good. We finally got to share our love story, which, whatever. It's so bullshit. Like, relationships are hard. They're not like, they're not easy.
I love your
and
guys'
magical.
relationship because it's real. You know what I mean? And you're so public about it. Like you guys went to therapy together. Therapy worked for you guys.
Yeah.
4 years. What do you guys? Almost 5 years.
We've been
now?
together 5 years. It was just 5 years in February. So 5 years in February. Yeah, I mean, because I really did have this perception that relationships were going to be easy.
Yeah.
That you meet somebody, you instantly fall in love, and then that they're supposed to make you happy all the time. And you're like, that's so far from what it really is about. It's crazy.
Can I ask a question? Because I was talking...
No regret. Yeah. I'm saying it all and posting it more in real.
Well, this is for my... Okay, so I'm dating a guy named Iggy. If you guys don't know him, we've been together for about maybe a year and a half. Or actually, we started dating in October, but 2 Octobers ago. Anyway, I asked him a question. We were driving to a long drive, and I asked him, hey, is it like, are we boring? Like, we don't fight ever. And we don't have any, like, makeup sex or, like, anything interesting. We're just kind of boring. We just like, exist. And he's like, Andrea, I think that's the point. Like, you're not supposed to fight.
Yeah, I know that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think you need to fight to have a great relationship.
I like the passion, and with like with some of my exes, like we would have like this like total fight, and he would get jealous, and I would get jealous, and then we have like amazing makeup sex, and I was like, oh my god, this is how we connect. And then with Iggy, it's like, do we need to fight? And he's like, you're insane. And we shouldn't be fighting. It's supposed to be easy, but yeah, I think I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy. I think a lot of people, you have all these perceptions of how relationships you think are supposed to be, and then the reality of that is so different. So, no, I mean, I've had to go to therapy to unlearn my whole fucking life. Like, I'm like, wait, you can like have different relationships and thrive, and you don't have to be married. And
yes,
and it's a lot of comparing yourself, I think, to other people. Like, I think people can't wait to tell you how you should live your life. So then you always get a lot of opinions. Well, boy, it doesn't seem like Dan like really loves you if he does this or whatever. But you're like, nobody really knows unless you're in it, you know?
Exactly. I think it's coming from my parents. My mom just yells at my dad 24/7 because she rules the relationship, and it'll always be that way. And my brother his fiance yells at him. Like, that's the relationship. And I'm like, oh my God, it's totally from your childhood.
It totally is. You end up marrying like your dad or your mom.
Yeah, which is so fucked up to say, but then that's sort of, you're attracted to that familial relation, that whatever they,
Maybe the sibs are making more sense.
I get it now.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day, by the way?
I have a bone to pick with you as well about this. So Iggy is planning a nice, and by the way, he just got a job, a really good job. He's making way more money now. He's not living in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
So he was homeless for a while. And now that he has a good job, and his suggestion for Valentine's Day was, hey, I just want to have a nice night in. I'm going to make you, like chicken and pasta, which we have every single night. And I'm like, you don't want to take me out? So yeah, we're just having supposedly a little tiny night in, maybe some Netflix and some cheap wine from Trader Joe's, which I love, by the way, but still.
But not on Valentine's Day. Are you like a little upset about this?
A little bit, but when he asked me, he's like, okay, are you going to lie to me and say you like this idea? And then later on.
Okay, so you did. You basically
I was like,
lied.
yeah, that sounds so great. And then last night I was like, are you fucking, we're staying in? It's the worst idea ever.
I've done that too, because you don't really believe that they're going to you're like, no, of course they're going to surprise me.
Yes.
No, and I've given up on that too with Dan. Like that, Dan used to try that shit too. Valentine's Day would come about and he'd be like, oh, well, you told me you didn't want anything. So I'm like, no, that's never the answer, ever. Even if I say that in like a moment of weakness. So now I'm always like a month out. I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah, exactly.
They don't get the mixed signals.
So are you going to go along with tonight and are you going to try to find last minute plans?
We're going along with tonight. I'm just going to be the chill girlfriend that is like, doesn't expect anything. But if next Valentine's Day we're still sitting in a basement eating some pasta, I'm going to be like, no.
This is it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm just going to get drunk off wine and like call it a night. Maybe he'll go down on me.
That's fine too. Yeah. Can only hope that's. Oh, those are. I'm going to type that to Dan too, and I want you to go down on me today.
Yeah, like what is some dirty?
Because we're today. We're not making it to 8 o'clock tonight.
Well, you got your birthday and Valentine's Day, so what is he doing? He's doing like full throttle, doing a striptease.
Yeah, well, he's been sick. Like he thinks he's getting sick, so that prevented us from having birthday sex. So I was like, okay, but I told him, I'm like, I'm going to do the podcast. You better take a nap, and you better be ready for some hot sex. I want to see your dick. That's like what I say to him.
I love it.
Look, Paul's not on the show because he's in New York. He was on Watch What Happens Live on Sunday night. And you know what, AJ? I was going to see if we can just give him. He's got a 2:00 flight back to DC, so we weren't able to. He wasn't able to record with us today. So I wanted to see, but I'm trying to actually find if we can quickly try to call him and see if we can catch him before he gets on his flight. But anyway, he has had a busy couple of days. He was on Watch What Happens Live. He was, then I think he was on Good Day New York. And
he's been everywhere. Yeah, he got to do Andy Cohen.
Yeah, he got to do Andy Cohen. I know. And awesome. He looked really, really good on Andy Cohen. Did you? I didn't stay up to watch, but I DVR'd, and I thought he looked terrific. His makeup looked great.
Oh, yeah. He took his whole beauty squad with him because he just can't live without him.
He did?
Yes, all 2 of them, and then one of his friends to be his date. Yeah.
He took his whole beauty squad? Holy crap. Like, who can afford this? I'm like, okay. All right, let's see. We're calling him now. Let's see if we can get in touch with him. Find out how things were going.
The mailbox belonging to 20.
Whoops. Wait. I think I'm just giving out his cell number. Oh, sorry, Paul. I think I just gave out your full cell phone number. Anyway, I think he was boarding a plane, but he'll be back with us next week. So I just wanted to see how it was going. And he was on Good Day New York, I think, today for pulling it all together.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, tons of stories to talk about. So Shaun White, of course, won 3 Olympic golds. Love to know what you guys think about this. But he's seeing a lot of fallout from Me Too after NBC is getting backlash for not discussing the allegations. In 2017, actually, okay, that wasn't that long ago, he settled a sexual harassment lawsuit for a half-decade of abusive behavior. The woman that accused him said that White often, when she was even 17 or 18 years old, would show her hardcore porn, sent her pictures of his penis repeatedly, unsolicited, also created a difficult work environment. And then he would show her a video of a couple having sex on top of a bear that the man had shot dead, and another hardcore porn video involving a priest, a nun, and feces. This was when she was 17 or 18. He allegedly forced her to drink vodka. He insisted she change her look and wardrobe, once threatening to send her home because he didn't like a fleece sweater she had worn. He stuck his hands down his pants, then shoved them in her face to smell them, according to the lawsuit. Oh my God. Oh, that's so disgusting. But apparently not a lot of people have been talking about that, which these stories always make me confused because you're like, oh shit, the guy's like a great Olympian.
Right.
But then you're like, oh, he did that. And he settled out of court with this woman.
And there's only one accusation, right? Just this one woman.
No, he has a second one, but I don't think that actually went anywhere. And let's see, White refused to address the questions about the lawsuit recently, calling it, quote, gossip. And he says, I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am, and my friends love me and vouch for me, and I think that stands on its own. White admitted sending text messages but denied other allegations, and has acknowledged that he was in a dark place when he lost a gold medal in Sochi in the games, which kind of prompted all this back in 2014. But, I mean, he ended up settling, so obviously somebody thought there was enough there.
Enough evidence, right, yeah.
But you were thinking, what were you going to say about him?
Well, I don't really follow Shaun White too much. I mean, for a while I thought he was Carrot Top. I thought him and Carrot Top were the same person. So I don't even know. But
Me too, that's a good point.
But it's still, those are pretty sick stories if they're true, then but I'm just so, like, we just, another person. It just seems the list goes on and on with all these people that have these allegations against them. I just don't.
It's hard because you don't know anymore, like, are you supposed to root for them because they're actually good in their sport, or, you know, and I guess my biggest thing is, do you think that networks now should be responsible of saying, oh, hey, he won, but by the way, he was, you know, he just settled this sexual harassment lawsuit. Do you fault NBC for not bringing that up?
I guess I do. I like the news to tell me everything about that person. I like to know, be very informed. But yeah, I say I think they are responsible for telling the full story.
Oh, that's really good. No, I agree. I mean, because I didn't even know that about Shaun White.
Me neither.
I don't really, like we were talking about, I don't really follow the Olympics. I haven't really followed Shaun White that much, so I didn't know that much about him.
Yeah.
And then when I read that, I was like, oh shit, who knew that Shaun White was such a little perv? Anyway, I knew that.
The more famous you become, the more the more people are out to get you, maybe. So that's what then
it's hard to decide, like, right. Okay, is it true? Is it not? Yeah. I know. But we're like in the era of, like, I mean, of course we believe women. And obviously, I mean, I completely believe the woman he settled with, because if it's all false and you don't have any proof, then you're not going to get a payout, you know? So, like, I don't think it was just bullshit. Are you, like, you're into humor. You're working on your humor, your voice work. Do you consider your style of humor self-deprecating?
I don't, only when I make fun of Mexicans.
I did not expect you to say that. Okay. And because you are Mexican, right?
Yeah. So, like, whenever people are like, oh, can you handle, like, cleaning this up after? I'm like, yeah, I'm Mexican. Like, born to clean. I have 15 jobs. I live with 10, 15 people. Like, stuff like that. So only the Mexican terms of, like, racial jokes.
Are you guys, like, at all first generation Mexican? Is your mom?
So my mom is white, a little bit Dominican, and my dad is a full Mexican, but he is born here.
Okay, born in the U.S.
So first generation, yes.
Okay.
I'm second generation, I guess. Is that how that works? Yes.
Yeah. Here. Well, self-deprecating humor is now linked to greater psychological well-being, a study finds. So it's been believed in a recent study, now they've said that the opposite is true. When you hear people making fun of themselves, a lot of times people assume that person is concealing insecurities. Like, do you think that's true when you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, so I would have thought that too, but they say in a recent study they found that the opposite may be the case, that making yourself the butt of your jokes actually demonstrates a greater level of happiness and self-assurance. You believe that?
I do believe in making fun of yourself and being totally okay with it, but you know when people, like, somebody gives you a compliment, you don't know how to take it. But that's not really, that's different.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, for women, when people are like, oh, you're so pretty, and you're like, oh, no, me, like, my face, like, oh, please, I've had so much work done. That's basically what my joke is becoming. Yes. Like, I don't even care.
This is just totally just making fun of yourself.
I think it's like, when people come in the room and they're like, oh, God, you know, I mean, please, I'm so happy that these jeans fit. I used to be 190 pounds. No, I was really hideous. Like, I think it's kind of more like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when people complain about themselves.
That actually makes me wonder, like, okay, when people do sort of make a self-deprecating joke when you give them a compliment, I always think that they just can't take a compliment.
Well, when people they're like, oh, don't mind my outfit. I know it's hideous. It's like, actually, I thought your outfit was really cute, but now that you brought it up, those pants don't really match the
I
shirt.
always say that too, yeah. But I'm actually not that insecure about it. I really don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care what people think about my
Maybe
outfit.
you're just making conversation.
I feel like this is good. You know what it is for me? I think, and this sounds, but like people were saying, oh, you don't publicize that it's your birthday. And it's like, I don't want to really talk about myself. Like, I really don't. I want to do a show that other people can laugh at me, laugh with me, that it's about the audience. You learn something, makes you think differently. I don't want it to be about me.
So no big birthday plans. Because if Paul was here, you better get on him to plan that birthday. Remember when he got on you?
By the way, and I'm going to give him so much shit next week. I never even got one message.
Ooh.
And we had to pay for Paul's photographer, cupcakes. He told us weeks in advance. He needed gifts. He needed cards, all this shit, right?
And by the way, my birthday is in 6 months. So I need a premium birthday card. I need 5-star treatment on my birthday. Yeah, what did you get? Not even a text.
Not even a text. So I'm going to use that on his next event. Like, dude, I am done. Yeah. Where was all my birthday love? Thanks a lot. Also, by the way, we got to thank Mervis Diamonds. We were at Mervis Diamonds on Friday night. You guys were amazing. You came through. Amanda bought a gorgeous set of diamond stud earrings. Was it Marcia? Who won the diamond studs? Do you remember her name? Marcia?
I wasn't there for the drawing,
Oh, that's
unfortunately.
right.
Oh, I know.
It was so good. We had a great party.
I know, it was so fun.
Great party. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to check out mervisdiamond.com if you're in the market for an engagement ring, a band, a gift for yourself. There was a lot of awesome women. I think the thing that makes me so proud is like women come in and they buy their own jewelry, they buy their own studs. So definitely they're the place to go. They have 3 locations in the DC area: Rockville, Maryland, Washington, DC, downtown on K Street, and then Tyson's Corner in Virginia. So check them out. Also, we're working with DC Lottery, and they just launched a DC Love Scratcher. AJ was there. We did a really cool person on the street video with DC Lottery, because a lot of times the perception is that people don't win the lottery, which is crazy to me. I'm like, but it's not like the lottery could put this out that they do these scratchers and nobody wins. But people apparently don't believe that people win.
Scratchers are so fun also.
They're so much fun. So, and I grew up with scratchers. My mom has been like a long time scratch ticket addict. That's what I get every Christmas. And check out the video that we did on the street with them. I think you'll be entertained. And then take a listen to this.
It's the place to be, the only place for me. Feeling that DC love. I got that DC love. I'm so happy that it's mine. Love is so divine. I'm feeling the DC love. I got that DC love, yeah.
Love DC? DC loves you back with DC Love Scratchers from the DC Lottery, featuring cash prizes of over $1 million. Now that's a lot of love.
It's my celebration, my DC revelation. Feeling that DC love. We got the DC love. DC love, yeah. We got that DC love.
Play the latest DC Love Scratcher, celebrating Valentine's Day, only from the DC Lottery. It's fun to play. Available where DC Lottery tickets are sold.
You guys know how much I love Washington, D.C. If you follow me on Instagram, you see all my stuff. I'm out all the time, and I really enjoy discovering new and unique things, which is why I love the website, datenightsdc.org. Do date night right in D.C., because believe me, they have everything you need. With over 100 plus date ideas, great deals for couples, hot restaurant recommendations, and so much more in Washington, D.C., you're going to love their website. For example, the 28 most romantic spots in Washington, D.C. Yes, I'm in. 19 budget-friendly date ideas? Absolutely. 19 adventurous date ideas in Washington, D.C.? Dan, get ready. So much adventure on the way. Look, if you're looking for the perfect date night for you and your loved one, this is it. Go to their website today and check it out. I promise you'll love it. I've been checking their site out, using it every single week to plan a date night for Dan and me. It's datenightsdc.org. So do date night right, as I mentioned, in DC, datenightsdc.org. I loved this that you sent this story, AJ, that Marlon Brando's son is now saying that his dad did not have sex with Richard Pryor either. This story was so good last week that came out. I loved every minute of Quincy Jones's article, basically spilling the tea on everybody. Marlon Brando's son said that he did not hook up with Richard Pryor, even though Pryor's widow insisted that he did. Marlon's oldest son, Mike Brando, told TMZ this week that the Brando family had heard that, and they say that they have a major issue with Jennifer Pryor, that they did not, that there's just no evidence that ever happened, which I think is so bullshit.
You're calling bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, Mike has gone to bat for his later father before. Most recently, the actor was accused of plotting a real rape during a movie scene. Richard's own daughter, Rain Pryor, denied the love affair between the two stars in a now-deleted post, saying that Pryor had a relationship with a trans woman once, but, quote, Daddy did not have relations with Brando. I don't believe it. I think they totally hooked up. What incentive does Quincy Jones have to lie? Except for maybe now people are like, oh, he's getting dementia. I'm like, the dude is not getting dementia.
He's spilling the tea on everybody. So what makes this story different?
I think it's 100% there. Are you excited? You don't have this issue. I do. Speaking of self-deprecating humor, but there's now a hashtag for saggy boobs matter. Are you excited about this one?
I am, because you know what? I think I have saggy boobs. I'm pretty sure.
How do you know? I don't think you do.
Like, you know when you're wearing a shirt and, okay, some girls, I'm like, wow, you're just blessed, but they've got to be fake.
Oh, totally.
When they're past size C and they're just sagging like natural boobs sag.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't nursed any babies yet, but like they're already starting. I'm 23. Is that
my
normal?
God. Mine are sagging so much, and I'm loving this trend. Yeah, well, anyway, of course, the beauty standard is that you have like Kim Kardashians, which look so fake. They're so they're
lifted
so
up.
high.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, these tits are so fake. So Saggy Boobs Matter is a real hashtag where women are now sharing their natural sagging boobs. Repeat after me, the Slum Flower on Instagram writes, I was created with intention, purpose, and a divine reason that exists beyond surface value, and I will never be sorry for not meeting anybody's standards. Hashtag saggy boobs matter. So if you want to hop on Instagram again, I really want to try this one because I think that's great.
Now, there was one girl who posted, gave up wearing bras in 2013, haven't looked back. I'm like, all right, honey, some events you're going to need to wear a bra. What do we do? That's just too much.
I can't go full braless. I can't.
I feel so awkward.
Yeah, I know. And then you always I don't know if other women have this issue, but then when I go braless, sometimes you just have like one nipple that's like super erect, but the other one isn't. And you're like, oh, this is so weird. Mine are so saggy and wonky. Like one hangs even slower, like lower.
One is bigger than the other. Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah, one's bigger than the other. I'm like, who is out here like showing these? And then sometimes your just nipples point down. You're like, that's also embarrassing. There's just no way.
See, yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to. Yeah, how are they supposed to look right now? I don't know.
No, it's absolutely no way.
Whenever I'm naked, I have to lift mine up so they're like super high.
Yes.
And Iggy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, this is how it is. I'm just fixing my hair, whiffing but making sure that then they're nice and high.
And you're always like putting your hand in your shirt, like lifting them up in the bra, like so they're nice and big. Yeah, mine are sagging.
I'm all about the saggy boob.
Hardcore. A wax figure museum in Niagara Falls. Okay, there's your problem number one. Niagara Falls, there's a wax museum getting a ton of shit for coming out with a wax museum figurine that they claim looks like Beyonce, and it's straight up a white, trashy diner host is what it looks like, right? They actually have a name tag on her, Beyonce.
They fucked her up.
Have you seen this? It is crazy. At first I was like, this is funny, but then when you go through all the images of Beyonce, like over the years, I think it's actually scary how they can't make Beyonce look like Beyonce as like a wax figurine. Like, why is it so hard?
For just Beyonce, yeah. I mean, they've mastered other celebrities, and this one is, you look at her, you're like, what is that?
Even Madame Tussauds could not get Beyonce right. Like, they completely like whitewashed her. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm looking at this.
So are people having issues with her being lighter than her actual skin color?
Yeah, that. And then people are also posting all these other images of Niagara Falls at this wax museum. And Celine Dion is so hideous too. Wow. Yeah. People are upset that she's being, I mean, come on, that's a straight white woman. Like, I think that was a joke.
Also, Niagara Falls. Yeah, if you're going to Niagara Falls, you should be going to see Niagara Falls, not the wax figures at Niagara.
But the whitewashing is like super embarrassing, and even the one at Madame Tussauds, it's like she's so white. But I do have to say, I think they put them under really shitty lighting too. So I don't know if that's part of it or not.
You guys have got to go look this picture up. It's hideous.
Oh my God, it's so bad. I mean, seriously.
I'm looking at other ones.
How do you feel about this? I love the New York Times article that came out that basically said comedians are handpicking their own, basically their own audiences. So they're now, because everybody is so sensitive.
Yes.
And my thing is, really, do people, see, I kind of call BS on this too. Because I'm like, do people go to a comedy club expecting not to be offended? Really?
Yeah, do not go to a comedy. Exactly. And if you are, then that's just absolutely stupid.
It's on you, right?
It's on you, yes.
So anyway, comedians now more and more are considering hand curating and inviting only select audiences so they know who they're going to get. Which to me, I'm like, I don't think that if comedians start doing this, then you're not really a comedian.
Because everybody's going to be laughing at the joke anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people who already like me already think I'm funny. You know what I mean? But it's like the whole thing is, can I win over a whole new audience that doesn't know me?
That's why open mic nights are so great, because you have no idea what the hell is going on. So it's a bad idea. Bad idea.
Fred Armisen is a stand-up comic who's been doing this. Recently did a show in New York, Stand Up for Drummers. The audience was packed with just fans of Armisen and people who liked drumming. And they say more comedians are doing it. They don't want to take the risk, especially with social media, where people can post a video, then edit the way that they want. I don't know. I still think that one's a hard one, though. I don't know. Because, I mean, even watching Dave Chappelle's special, a lot of people were pissed about that. So it's hard.
What is that guy, Daniel Tosh? I watch a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
He's racist against everybody. And he's like, okay, who's had an abortion here? All right, what joke can I make about an abortion? So he literally tries to be offensive.
I know. Like,
Depends on what type of humor you want.
I know. It really does. That would not bother me. A lot of feminists were upset with Amy Schumer's film, I Feel Pretty. The internet reacted and has been reacting to the trailer that Schumer dropped, saying that it doesn't resonate with a woman who truly is overweight or deemed by society as not attractive. You saw the trailer, right?
Yeah, saw the trailer. I'm going to go see it. It's right up my alley.
Okay, well, that wasn't hard to convince.
But I totally get what people are saying. Amy Schumer, it looks like she's a size 8. That's average for an American woman. But then you look at Amy Schumer compared to Emily Ratajkowski, who's a beautiful model. Amy Schumer's not as hot as she's not the hot Hollywood girl.
So the whole premise of I Feel Pretty, the trailer, is essentially Amy Schumer. It looks like she's in New York City. She's trying to keep up with all these Instagram beauty standards. She's in Soul Cycle. She's trying to take all these classes. And she's surrounded by all these women, which I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Have you been to a Soul Cycle class? Like, everyone there is super hot.
Everyone's so hot.
Super hot and so tiny. Like, they're all a size 4, you know? And she's on her bike. She's trying to keep up. She goes into like a boutique. The boutique is like, sorry, we don't have things in your size, which we've all, like, I've been there. I mean, I've been there when I was a size 10 or 12. There were stores you couldn't fit into things. So then she hits her head. She wakes up and suddenly she believes she's gorgeous. She thinks she's a model. She has all this body confidence. And so all these feminist like writers and Sophie Hagen, who's a comedian, and Sophie Hagen's like a bigger woman. And she basically says like, this is bullshit. Like, you have no idea what it's like to be ugly, Amy Schumer. And you're maybe a size 8, 10. And you're trying to say that you're fat and overweight. Like, what's there for the rest of us?
She knew she had to get this backlash. Like, she was prepared for this, I think.
Do you think? I don't think she cares. I think she's a comedian that doesn't care.
Exactly. Also, this is a whole rendition of Shallow Hal movie with Jack Black.
Yeah. I heard that too. But what's your take on it? Because you kind of felt like you agreed with some of the women that were saying that Amy Schumer really isn't overweight.
Yes.
But then I thought you had a good point about Hollywood.
Right. But in the grand scheme of things, Amy Schumer in Hollywood is not the hot girl.
She's considered ugly.
She's considered ugly because you're surrounded by plastic surgery and women that are just born naturally beautiful. They're models. Amy Schumer's a comedian. Obviously, she's not the hot one there. She probably deals with this all the time.
I know I was reading the whole thing, and at first I was like, the feminists have a good point, but then I'm like, it's such fucking bullshit. Because here's the thing, like, you've seen my pictures. I've been 190 pounds overweight. I've been 20 pounds overweight.
Right.
In society, if you're 20 pounds overweight as a woman or 200, you're basically deemed overweight. Like,
exactly.
So to me, I think the whole premise of the film is what she's saying. is that, look, it doesn't matter. You're still considered ugly and fat. And she is not attractive in Hollywood standards. She's not.
Yes. And then when she hits her head, she sees herself as this gorgeous person. So she automatically has this air of confidence. And the confidence that she carries around is what makes her so amazing. People are automatically drawn to her. So I think the takeaway from the movie is all about confidence.
Do these movies need to have a woman that's actually a woman of substance? You know, that's the thing is like, you know, and I mean, you know, to me, I think that I think it's a big fucking waste of time, basically, that all these women were going after her, because I think it's a Hollywood film. It's a comedy. At the end of it, she's going to like come out of the amnesia, but she's going to realize that self-confidence is from within. Right. You know, I mean, it's all that bullshit, right? It's so crazy. But I mean, I've literally been 20 pounds overweight, and I've had men tell me like, oh, they have a weight cutoff. Like if you don't weigh 135 pounds, they don't want to date you. So guess what? If you're 145 pounds, you still feel like the same as someone 200 pounds overweight. It just is so crazy to me.
I can't even have, I mean, now that I'm just thinking in terms of that. Yeah, if guys have cutoffs, you know what? Fuck them. You're not even supposed to be with them.
Oh my God, I know. Please. That was like my best friend in high school. He's like, he's like, one time we were like, Mike, what kind of women do you like to date? He's like, well, first she's got to like rap. And second, she can't be over 135 pounds. And this was like, I was probably like 170 at this point. I was like, okay, well,
this isn't going to work out here.
But I mean, I know what it's like to be invisible. Like when you are 50 pounds overweight, like nobody is looking at you. You know, I mean, I can remember I went to all these college parties at Mount Holyoke and everyone was getting laid. And I was sitting with the other overweight fat kid, like and we were just like enjoying pizza and drinking too many beers. And even that guy didn't want to fuck me. He was like, and I'm like, dude, but you were overweight. He's like, no, I'll pass. I was like, what is this? Yes, I mean, how? Come on. So I know what it's like to be overlooked, but...
Right, I do like to bring to attention those type of... Even college, I gained the multiple pounds, and I totally know what you're talking about when... guys will be overlooking you. But I like this movie because I think it still brings to attention how women are overlooked just by their looks.
Exactly. And if you're not considered, you know, if you're not that standard Instagram beauty, like you're not... People don't consider you attractive. You know what I mean? Like you have to...
And there's so many hot women out there now. I compare myself all the time. Still, you still work with it. It's a work in progress. I see Instagram models and they look perfect. They're edited, guys. Most of those pictures are edited.
Oh my God, completely edited. I mean, that's to me why... I don't know. It's to me, it was shocking why we still have that conversation, because anything you see now online, unless people are really being full disclosure, isn't real.
Yes.
Here's what men apparently want when it comes to sex, during sex. That may surprise you. This is according to other real men. Do you think that men really want honesty about their secret kinks? When a girl feels comfortable enough to let a guy know what kind of freaky stuff she's into, most men are totally down for anything. Okay, first of all, they got to interview Dan. Because I'm totally down for that. And no. So far, no. What about tickling his balls is number 2. You think men are... This guy, Brandon 31, says that when a woman is on top of me and tickling my balls, one of my favorite things.
Okay. Never heard that before. I'll try it tonight. I'll let you know.
Butt play. How many guys have you been with that are really into ass play?
Never.
Okay, thank you. Where are these men that are into ass play? I can't find one.
Paul will tell you about a couple, but I've got none.
I know.
I try to go down there. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, all right. We're past that. We're done here.
Eye contact. Apparently, men who were surveyed said that they love during sex direct eye contact. Do you and Iggy like look into each other's eyes when you guys are having sex?
He's all about it, and I'm not. I'm like, well, it depends on what position we're in. You know, when you're on top and you're like, my double chin is on you. You know what I mean? Because you can. That's what they're looking at. And he just wants to like stare into your eyes. Also, at what point are you because like on the first few times you're not looking into each other's eyes because you guys aren't super into each other yet, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's you're only...
I don't think Dan and I look into each other's eyes much. God, this is like, I gotta really read that.
Obviously, if he's coming on you from behind, nobody's looking into each other's eyes.
I look back. Look at me. Look at me. Don't just use me with my ass.
You know what? I'm awkward though. So when he tries to get like super eye contact, I look away. I'm like, oh, there's a bug in here. And I look at anything else but his eyes.
No surprise. Men love when a woman orgasms. Yeah, okay. What a nice temperature. I never knew this about men. Men don't want to fuck in cold rooms. Nobody wants to be cold. I
heard if you keep your socks on, your orgasm is 10 times better.
Double digits. This I didn't understand. I like fingering her with both of our fingers. Oh, I get it. Hers and yours. Oh, again, I got to put that on the list of things to try with Dan.
Again, never thought about that.
Doesn't seem into that. Calling them by a different name. I like it when she calls me by another guy's name. This is according to George 43.
George, you're fucking insane.
I like this one though. I often try to do this with Dan.
Like an ex or her favorite movie star. If she's calling you by your ex's name, by her ex's name, that's not a good sign.
Oh my God, I love that one. And then what? Use your dirty underwear? Having your mouth stuffed with their dirty underwear? Okay, this isn't real.
We passed it. I'm done.
This isn't real. Scratch pad. I like when a girl scratches me so hard she leaves marks. Okay, well, Dan's into that.
I've heard this before. Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm not aggressive.
No, we need to be a lot more aggressive. Seriously, who knew? Do you think any of those are true?
A couple of them, I pick them out, but don't be calling me by your ex's name. Then I just think you're thinking about your ex while we're having sex. I don't find that one good at all. Dropping that.
So last story of the show, there's been a lot of controversy about this, if this story is actually real or not. But you read about the guy that his rectum ended up falling out of his body when he was on the toilet.
I have to go back to science class because isn't your rectum your asshole?
Yes. He's like, but it can easily fall out. No, I've learned all this from having an anal fissure because you have rectal walls.
I love when she brings up the anal fissure.
Oh my God. That experience will stay with me. It's a paper cut in your butthole, and people, it is the worst paper cut of all time. I can
imagine.
It is so bad. A man in China developed a rare condition after playing games on his phone while sitting on the toilet. His rectum slipped out of his anus, according to news reports. The man went to a hospital in southeast China after he noticed a ball-sized lump had fallen out of his anus, but it was still attached to his body. The man was diagnosed with rectal prolapse, a relatively uncommon condition in which the rectum or the last part of the last intestine becomes detached from the inside of the body and essentially turns itself inside out. Oh my God. Nothing seems more painful, but I know this is true. I talk about this all the time. Like, this is what my gastrointestinal doctor told me. He's like, you can't have butt sex because your rectal wall is weak and your butthole will the anus will fall out.
Collapse and just...
They said it's the most painful surgery. The exact cause of the condition is unclear, but there are certain factors that may play a role, including loose muscles of the anal sphincter, previous injury to the anal or pelvic areas, damage to the nerves in the rectal area, chronic constipation or straining during bowel movements. Oh my God. And infections with intestinal worms.
It gets worse and worse. So he literally was just sitting for an hour trying to poop and his anus falls out.
Yes. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Anyway, you guys, always, we love hearing from you. Be sure to email me, sarah@heyfrase.com. AJ, where can people follow you?
Follow me on Instagram, Andrea Lopez Impressions.
Love it. And we have an interview that we're going to add right now. Our friend Hilari is here. So Hilari Younger she was on the show Design Star several years ago. She's a reality show star and she's a designer. She's got a great fashion eye, but a Black Panther is coming out tomorrow night. It premieres. It is all a black superhero movie. And we wanted to have Hilari on to talk about why this film is so important for the black community, what you're supposed to wear. And I honestly did have a really embarrassing question for her because I actually thought for a second that I could dress up.
For this premiere movie. This movie premiere, you were going to dress up. What were you going to dress up as?
Well, I wasn't sure. I guess I thought I could dress up like a black superhero, but I was told maybe not. So anyway. So look, Hilari is really awesome. We have her on the show now. Love you guys. Be sure to follow the show at Hey Frase and share the podcast too with anyone that you think would love this show and is new. Take a listen to this. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. AJ, doesn't she look like amazing? See, I need your whole life and your hair and the whole thing.
We'll get it together. I had to come in character, where I'm going on tomorrow. So I have to, it's a whole process.
Well, Hilari is here for a couple reasons. One, she's a wonderful friend, and I think that she's going to be great on this podcast as a recurring character. I
hope so.
As a great addition. But also, you are a former design star on Design Stars.
Right.
Reality show. I guess it was kind of reality show, right?
Reality competition, kind of like the... What is it? American Idol for design, or let's think of something else. Top Model. Don't you love how I compare that show to like some of the kind of like The Voice of designers, you know, like
How real was it, by the way? When you were on Design Star, is it real, or do they basically make you reshoot the same shots over and over, and they're like, hey, more drama this time?
Okay, so I think I got into reality TV when reality TV was like torture. The Design Star was actually real. Like, it was real. Now, there were scenes that they would make you reshoot if they wanted you to get out of the van and, like, look around a little bit harder, or especially for me, because I'm already an animate person anyway.
Yeah.
Hilary, come do this. And I'm like, you know what? Listen, probably not going to do that. Just get me, you know, in my natural form. Like, that's enough, you know, for the camera. But yeah, it wasn't as fake as I think some of the reality shows that aren't competition shows are.
Yeah.
I think you already have the adrenaline going because people are in contest mode. So they're already trying to upstage each other anyway. So you don't really have to create so much, you know, drama because everyone's a hater. Like, right.
And you were on how many times?
Oh my gosh. So that was the longest shooting. I've never done it. I was there in LA for 3 months.
Wow.
So I was literally on 18 weeks of television straight because I went straight through to All Stars, and I never went home. Like, I never went home once, and I missed my family. Like, it was the worst.
Wow.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But yeah, like, you know, it was a good experience. It's an amazing experience, and I think it put me exactly where I needed to be in that moment.
Well, you're an incredible designer in real life, and I absolutely love, you're gorgeous, but you are also a strong Black female, which we are missing on this show.
They don't even see the S on my chest. I came in here with a full afro, with my Black Power fist up, and an ankh around my neck. And Malcolm X, I have a few of his ashes in my purse, if you guys.
You do?
Yeah, just Valentine's Day, Black History Month, same thing. Like, so I just want to leave you with a token of Black Power.
I love it.
I'm all on board. Please, I am obsessed with Black culture. You know, I do want to be Black. I am like the Rachel Dozell. I am. It's really bad.
Please don't be like that.
I know.
Sarah was going to come in with cornrows, and we're like, that's not appropriate.
Please don't come in. Please don't come in with cornrows. Please.
I know.
And please don't be like Rachel Dolezal. She's, oh gosh. I just want to forget her, actually.
Oh, is that like taboo to bring up? Here I go.
I mean,
and that would be
it's
just
okay
like
to bring her up, but it made me sleepy. I got exhausted just thinking about it. So
that story blew my mind. Oh my God.
The sad thing is, she's very serious. Like, she means it. Like,
I think she's
Black.
dead serious. Yeah.
And at this point, I've just accepted her. Like, I'm so tired of arguing with her that I'm like, okay, Rachel, whatever. You're Black. Fine.
You're Black.
You know, fine. Deep condition your hair. Like, whatever you want to do.
Well, also, you know, you and I had a conversation earlier this week because it has now become the fastest pre-sale tickets ever sold for Black Panther, which the premiere is tomorrow night. I believe like over $175 million already just in the United States for pre-ticket sales, which blows the record for Marvel. But I actually called you because on the internet, there's all this discussion of what you're supposed to wear. And I really want to go to Black Panther. So I said, oh, Hilary, can I like dress up for Black Panther? And you were like, absolutely not.
No, ma'am. Okay, so we did talk about that over the phone, and while I appreciate you being so into it and wanting to support us in that way, Wakanda is a safe space.
Okay.
Wakanda is a safe space for Black people. And please do not dress up for Black. Listen, I'm going to talk into the microphone. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to
this is instructions for white people, Asian people. Can anyone? If you're not Black, you can't.
Asian people, you have Asia. Okay, you have a whole entire continent to dress up on. Okay, we only have Wakanda. White people, listen, you're not even welcome in Wakanda, really. Like, I mean, I hate to let you down, but remember last time we let you on our continent, what happened, right? So this time we're being a little bit more careful. We are a little bit more guarded, and don't dress up for Black. Okay, so think about this. Think about it like this. Gotham City, right? Batman Returns came out.
I'm there.
And there were like people in the theater dressed exactly like Batman, right?
Yes.
None of them were Black. So It's a Black Panther. A white panther is a genetic mutation. Like, if we saw one in the wild, right, we would be like, oh my God, what happened to him? So don't dress up for Black Panther, especially because I don't know what type of emotion that Black Panther may, resurrect in people. So we just want everybody to be safe,
and of course the whole, the thing about, and I know nothing about Marvel actually. So my boyfriend Dan is like the Marvel guy.
He's totally into it.
He's going. He and his buddy already have. I mean, I know they're not dressing up.
Dan, listen to me. 911. Don't dress up for Black Panther, okay?
I know they're definitely not doing that. But so he knows the whole premise. But what I know of it is just that this is an all-black film of black superheroes. And I didn't even know what Wakanda was, but it is basically the universe that they live in.
Absolutely. That's exactly what Wakanda is. Now, I won't go into, because I'm not like a Marvel purist. I'm not I'm not a comic book person. But my connection to Black Panther is Chadwick Boseman, right?
Okay.
So you guys know I'm a Howard grad.
Yes.
And the whole thing came from, like, the biggest emotional side of this for me is that when Disney and the Marvel universe said, where can we source a black superhero? Where will we get that person from? They went to Howard University.
Wow.
Like, literally, when I thought that through,
yeah,
and it like settled in my spirit, I realized, like, I'm a black superhero, which is partly why I've been walking around like shooting out webs and having a force field and trying to get wind and, doing, like, I am in my bag right now mainly because of that. And then when you look at the ensemble and the cast, and not just the cast, but the Ryan Coogler and, I mean, everything that has gone. This is a 31-year-old guy. I mean, like, I'm only 35 myself.
Right.
I'm a kid. He's 31. Can you imagine being that type of, like, super producer, like, director at this point in your life and, like, creating something like this? He's responsible with Fruitvale Station and
yeah.
Like, so
I know him from that film only, but I'm sure he's done many others. So
Creed.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Creed was amazing. Okay,
so thinking
That's
about this and thinking about how stacked this deck is of amazing, like, black talent. Everyone, I mean, that's why Black America is so excited,
Yeah.
And the other thing that's amazing about it is you have, like, Lupita Nyong'o and so many other actual people of African descent. So this is the first time in real life the diaspora, like black people and African people, are merged in this, like, even though it's right now a mythical place, we are building one. We won't tell you where it is, okay? Because, again, it's a safe space. It's the first time that we've merged the diaspora, like, for people to see in a marvelous, like, way, like, in a way that people can look at and say, that's a black superhero. Because, like, Dolomite was the only black superhero I know, and he was a pimp. So right now, this is a different level. This is a different level.
You never see prominent black superheroes. You just don't in any of these movies until today. And I think it's awesome. And, I've worked in media for a long time, and sadly, behind the scenes, I think there was always this current, and there was a current. They would say it, basically, in not so many words, but essentially they did not want to market to African-American people for whatever reason. And I never understood that. I also never understood, I worked in radio for many years,
right.
and the shows were always geared towards women, but then you had older men trying to tell you what young women wanted to hear. It was always so fucking bananas. But one of the other things too was, it was like, hey, we have a really large African-American audience. Let's do more things about that. And it was like, no, I never understood.
It's the marketing.
Why that?
It's the marketing tool. Like, I mean, if you think about it, if you constantly see, like, positive imagery, you can't control, like, the minds of people. Most people are not us. Most people are sheeple. They're following, like, the lead of someone else. So they just go with what someone shows them. So if you show someone a positive image, then people are going to think, oh, well, something good can be there. But if you constantly are feeding them negative things, most people are going to buy into that. It's just like watching Burger King commercials. I mean, you may not have been in the mood for a Whopper, but after the fourth commercial, in some kind of way, that char grill taste burps up, and you're like, maybe I do want to swing by and have it my way. Like, I don't. I think that what America especially has recognized is how powerful the tool of media really is.
Right.
And because print media and television media now are not as powerful as they once were.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice but to break away. I mean, once we've gotten into social media and we can put out our own images and people can actually see for themselves. On top of that, we have Barack Obama. Can we talk about the pictures too at some point? I mean, we've had the Obamas. So the world has seen that, okay, everything that they've been trying to sell us was honestly in large part a bag of shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right. And it was manufactured by mostly white men. I mean, it really was.
And white men, you know, like we realize they've been touching people's asses in the office, men and women. You know,
they really have problems whipping out their dicks and masturbating in front of women. For whatever reason, they love to masturbate in front of women. It's just like,
shit.
Yeah,
like, just nasty shit. So right now, it's just kind of like with the Me Too campaign,
right?
And you know, all of the Black people magic things going on. It's everybody's we're about to equalize everything, and that's the thing. That's the thing. People are going to come out of the margins,
right?
And now and what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Think about us. We love each other.
Yes.
If the whole fucking world was like this, we'd be chilling. Like, I could honestly invite you guys to Wakanda. Like, right now, I can't because, you know, like, I let you come to the cookout and that went over okay, but my grandmother was still kind of like, why are they here? Who the hell is that?
Oh my God.
Give her one scoop of potato salad. That's it. Okay?
Oh, I can't wait till we can have 2 scoops.
2 scoops. One day. Soon you'll get 2 scoops, Sarah. Soon you'll go back for seconds. You only got 1 plate this time at the cookout.
Well, I'm with you. Before we talk about what you should wear if you're Black.
Only if you're Black.
Only if you're Black. What I do love, I love what you say about equalizing things. And I think that's so important because I've worked in media a long time and I see it. I do think that media has played a big role in portraying, you know, African-American men as violent. Yeah. And I think the entertainment business has, you know, I mean, there's been such a portrayal of, you know, violence and all this stuff geared toward Black culture. And it's like, why did that, you know, and I don't know. I think there was a lot of pressure on, in my own opinion, and I'm sure can tell me if this is right or wrong, but I think too, like even looking at hip hop artists, and I think there's so much pressure for them to tell a story of like growing up, like
there has been this huge push for this imagery of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And it's been hard on the community. I can't even lie and say it hasn't had any effect. It really has. It's been extremely detrimental. And I mean, again, like if you put it out there and you say it over and over, it's just like us saying every day, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're fat. If you keep telling yourself that, eventually you're going to start to believe it. And like I said, now, because we have so many other outlets and so many other abilities to like tell our own story and push our own narratives, it's kind of like those things are like, you know, coming from under the veil. This is not the only story.
Right.
You know?
Right. I think it's great because I think, unfortunately, that story has been out there for the past 20 years. And I think when you're marketing that to rural white Americans, they have this just absolute crazy depiction of what an African-American family looks like, what they do, what Black men are about. Right. And then I think that just spawns the fear and the racism and all the crap that, you know, we see, unfortunately, you know, that Donald Trump brings to light, which is terrible.
It's so crazy because from middle America, like I grew up in Dallas, Texas. Right. So, you know, I'm not, you know, I know about the South. I know about that thing. And like this, you know, I know how racism works and separatism works and segregation works. I mean, the South is still a very segregated place.
Girl, this wasn't one of the many reasons that I broke up with him because I was planning on dumping him anyway. But the last straw was I went.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that okay? Can we cut that out?
I was dating a guy who had 2 kids, and his daughter was doing this debutante. His ex-wife was from Mississippi, and literally they were having this debutante ball at an all-white, in 2010. An all-white country club in the Mississippi Delta. And I thought, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding? Yeah. Like, I was like,
they were dead serious.
How can you even participate? How can you even want your daughter? I don't give a fuck about, I don't even understand debutante. You know, I grew up in Maine. No one ever, there was no debutantes, okay? We grew up with a cigarette in our mouths and a Bud Light. So I don't know
what. Good lobster roll. Right. Don't forget that. And some blueberry, bomb-ass blueberries.
Exactly.
Okay? Right.
But I'm like, how the fuck can you participate in this?
Yeah, no, I grew up in
my
that.
mind.
I grew up in that South, like not the Mississippi South. Texas is a little bit, kind of Southwest, because we have a lot of Mexicans. And then Mexican. I mean, real like the borders there.
AJ's Mexican.
Yeah. So, but here people don't understand. Like, you are from South America, you are from Central America. Texas has Mexican people, like white people, black people, Mexican people.
Okay.
That's a setup for a joke.
Yeah.
That you guys are but literally, that's how it breaks down. And for the black and the Mexican people, for the most part, it's a bit, Dallas especially is a very wealthy city. Like, we have the most, I think, billionaires per capita than anywhere in the South, in this, I think, in the United States at this point.
Wow.
So we have like serious wealth. But I grew up like, I went to private school for a while, but the schools, if you go to a black school, go to a black school. If you go to a white school, go to a white school.
That's so
it's
crazy.
Still very, very segregated, and people only believe, what they're told.
Right.
For the most part.
Right.
No one's doing their own research.
Yeah.
No one is doing their own research. And even for a person like me, watching and listening to like hip hop or watching certain things, like I watched Menace to Society. That wasn't my life.
Right.
Like,
right.
Boys in the Hood was not my life. Like I know people, but it wasn't my life. Like, my dad lived with us. My grandparents, both grandparents were married. My grandparents even went to college. So
Right.
I'm not even like, people want to tell this story about first generation or whatever. Like, I'm not a first generation anything. Literally, my story. And
You
I
grew
tell
up
people,
middle class.
point blank, period. Like,
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, my great grandmother had a vision. She had a vision. She was a slave.
Wow.
And a German man bought her out of slavery, and I feel like her spirit abides in me. And the reason I feel like that is because I feel like he probably winked at her and he was like, "You kind of fine, I like you. I see you out there picking cotton, you know what I'm saying? And you were bent over a little bit." And I was like, "Oh, bust it open, bend it over." And she was like, "Oh, you like me? You feeling me? Oh, okay, yeah, like, all right." She was like, "Well, if you want me,
You're gonna have to
come up out there. You're gonna have to come. Listen, I need some paperwork. Okay. First of all, I get it.
Wow.
I like you too. I like you too, Mr. Younger. But listen, before we do anything, you're gonna have to go up there and tell Master Johnson to let me go and my two kids.
That's
and
crazy.
them too. And that's exactly what happened. So literally, that's my story. And everybody has a different story. Like, no story is the same, of course. But there are white people in the Appalachian Mountains with no teeth and addicted to opioids. We just don't get the narrative pushed in the same way that you get it. But there's a reason. Like, we came here in a different way. And there's still some people who are frustrated with the fact that there's no more free labor. Like, that's literally what it boils down to, is money and free labor. And honestly, I want some slaves too. Like, think about all the shit we have to do every day. Think about it. If you could just call somebody and be like, "Get on it.
This is what I need done."
And then I don't have to pay them. Like,
Okay, well, no. I mean,
don't get them? Okay, well.
Yeah, I don't know if you would have some backlash on that one.
I would get a little bit of backlash. Because I thought about
Hilari
it.
Younger, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
You're amazing.
I love you
really
guys.
quickly, though, what are we supposed to wear?
Okay.
So what are the hot 2 outfits that people are rocking?
So I think that people are getting, okay, so the first thing I want to clear up is that people are getting a little bit confused about what Wakanda is. It's like a Marvel universe. So this is about a superhero. And I think a lot of people are wearing like African
I've seen a lot of that.
diasporic clothes, which is fine ceremonially, like to put on your regalia when we're doing some type of superhero gala or something. But honestly, I'm wearing like some superhero shit. Like, when I step in, it's going to look like I can literally like do this.
Those webs are coming out.
Exactly. The webs are coming out and I've burned everything up. Like, you guys don't want me to touch anything because like, you're like, "Oh my gosh, she's going to set this shit on fire." Yes, that's the costume that I'm wearing, and I cannot wait. Like, I have a cape and shit. I have gold teeth. Like, my black version of my superhero is like super black shit. Like, anything. If you think about culturally, I am culturally appropriating my own people at this point. Like, they're gonna be like, "You know what, bitch, you."
So why are people thinking about wearing more African clothing? Like, where did that start? Like, is that just a celebration? Because that's what I'm confused about.
I think that people can't think about. I think that a lot of people cannot think about being black without like connecting it back to the continent, which I'm okay with that, but I don't think that I think a lot of people are not like us. We are both sitting here admitting like, okay, I'm not into Marvel like that. Comic books are not my thing. Like Jim is Truly Outrageous and Rainbow Bright was my shit. Like that's what I was doing. But my cousins were, you know, they were into comic books and Marvel, so I knew a little bit about Black Panther. So I know it's a superhero situation. It's not first of all, it's not Black Panther. Like Stokely Carmichael is not in this movie. Like, you know, like there's no movement like in this movie. So I want people to get that shit straight. Don't come in there.
It's not a racial film about race, power. It's not about Black Panthers, the racial movement.
Please don't come in there with a leather jacket and a beret, because you too, just like the white people who dressed up, will get your ass like looked at short. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, I think that whatever it is that you feel like embodies if a 3-piece suit makes you feel supreme, wear that shit. Love it. And for me, you know, I always wanted a job where I could like wear a gold grill, because I feel like putting gold teeth in my mouth makes me like yes. Okay, Sarah, this is the thing we do have to like. We'll talk about this afterwards. But whatever it is that makes you feel powerful.
Okay.
As a Black person, wear that shit. And if it's African stuff, I don't know why that is what it is, but wear the shit. Okay, like
I love you. Where can people find you? You were great. Thank you.
You can find me www.habituallyhilary.com. Go there. I'm there. Everything's there, and there'll be more there. But yeah, check me out. I'm also Habitually Hilary on Facebook and Habitually Hilary on Instagram. So follow me, love me, like me. Yay!
We will. Thank you for clearing up all the Black Panther knowledge that we needed to know from a powerful Black woman. You're awesome. More to come from Hilary.
Thank you. Black power, everybody.